Hello there. The British government has already rejected a report that it is seeking closer ties with the EU. A London government spokesman called the article clearly untrue that was posted recently. Rather, the UK government is focused on using their freedoms through Brexit to create opportunities that foster growth and strengthen our economy. Yeah, the famous Brexit freedoms. Brexit means the UK will never have to go back to free movement or make unnecessary payments to the EU. In fact, a relationship with the EU based on the Swiss model would be very difficult for the United Kingdom to achieve in several respects. On the one hand, relations between the EU and Switzerland are complicated and currently extremely tense. It is very unlikely that the EU will again agree to the conclusion of numerous individual contracts with a neighboring country. On the other hand, Switzerland must also recognize the so-called four freedoms of the EU for its access to the internal market, which, in addition to the free movement of goods, services, and capital, also includes that of people. However, the latter was an important motive for Brexit. That was the withdrawal of the United Kingdom from the EU, which was decided in a referendum in 2016 and finally officially happened in 2019. The article was also denied by UK Health Secretary and ex-Brexit Secretary Steve Barclay. We have a Prime Minister who was pro-Brexit. I was in favour myself and I was Brexit Secretary. And I worked very hard to maximize control over our laws, our borders and our money. That's what he told Sky News. And he said, I want to maximize the opportunities that Brexit offers. So another delusional ones. The Sunday Times, citing an unnamed minister, reported that the government was aiming for a Swiss-style relationship with the EU 3 years after Brexit. According to this could be implemented over the course of the decade in order to reduce the current barriers to trade. But London would be ready to pay back into the EU coffers, and the government would not agree to a return to the principle of freedom of movement. That is what the report said. They rejected now. But Britain has its back against the wall economically. There's no denying that we are now seeing a much stronger slowdown in UK trade relative to the rest of the world. That was said by Swati Dhingra, a member of the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee. And he told that to MPs on Wednesday. And her colleague, Catherine Mann, said small businesses would be hardest hit by Brexit, as additional paperwork would be required for exporters and importers. And that also fuels inflation. And the inflation rate is 11.1% already. Chancellor of the Exchequer, or Finance Minister Jeremy Hunt, said recently that the UK economy is already in recession, according to the UK's Independent Budget Authority. In 2023, economic output is expected to shrink by 1.4%. And the central bank also fears that the recession could drag on for years. So the idea of that article probably wouldn't have been bad, even if it wasn't doable. But still, I see you in my next video. I'll be back.